Hi, and welcome to Forge and Anvil. I'm Alan Rogers. We're coming to you today from Birmingham, Alabama, in the Schloss Furnaces. These are really some incredible furnaces here. It's an industrial cathedral, really, with all these spires and turrets and everything else, and I'm way up here right now. Our show today is about furniture making. We're going to be building a nice piece of furniture for your home in our project, and we're also going to be going to a couple of really interesting studios. That of Tom Sheets in Atlanta, and Asheville Ironworks, run by Barry Bate in Asheville, North Carolina. Come on, let's go get started. Hey, Stanley, how you doing?
Alan, how are you?
Just fine.
Good. Welcome to Lawler Foundry.
Thank you. Thank you. I've never seen so many castings in my life.
Well, thank you very much. We have over 1,500 different designs, and it's very important that we keep our inventory very accurate.
I'm sure. It must be quite a headache at times.
It's a daily job. We also have a complete showroom up front. Would you like to join me there to look at some more items?
Yeah, let's go check it out. Great. Well, you have some really beautiful stuff here, Stanley.
Thank you, Alan.
What is Lawler's focus? What's your main business?
Well, Lawler Foundry Company is primarily a sand foundry that we cast elements, ornamental and commercial, in gray iron, which just happens to be, or aluminum, which happens to be 1/3 the weight of cast iron.
And you primarily, as you say, you work in cast and aluminum, but you also sell some wrought products, don't you?
Yes, as a part of our entire line, Alan, we offer a complete line of steel forgings. And it's become very popular. As a matter of fact, the entire decorative metal component business is growing in popularity, and this is all part of the mix.
And who's buying these things from you? Are you selling?
We sell directly to the trade, the fabricator, the people who actually work with the designer and the architect and fabricate and install the finished product. But we are a supplier of component parts.
For fences and railings and gates.
Whatever use might be. We don't discourage any use of our product.
I'm sure not. But you also do custom work, don't you?
Yes. Alan, this is an example of something in the works right now. A large portion of our business is what we call non-catalog work, which you will not see in the Lawler line catalog. People send in parts such as this, different sizes and configurations, and for their own use, they want replacement parts. They don't want it on the open market. And to do this, it requires a 5-step process, just like it does anything else. And the first step would be that a customer would send in a drawing or a sample. We would take that drawing or the sample and we would make what we refer to as a master pattern.
Right.
We would take the master pattern and make a production pattern or a match plate.
Right.
We use that production pattern or the match plate to form our sand mold around. As some process of making the sand mold, we separate the mold, we remove the production pattern, put the mold back together, and that mold would have whatever board we molded into it, and into that we pour liquid iron or liquid aluminum to produce the product such as this.
And so that really applies to all these various
Yes, the 5-step process applies to whether it's a non-catalog item or a Lawler line catalog item.
All right.
Certainly does.
Well, thanks for showing us that, Stan.
Thank you very much for coming to Lawler.
We enjoyed it. This could be a mailbox bracket or a corner piece. These are the hot blast stoves at Schloss Furnace in Birmingham, Alabama. They recycled hot gas from the blasting process and ran them back through to provide air for the blasting process, one of the early recycling programs that you'll find anywhere. We're going now to Tom Sheets' studio in Atlanta to see some tables. Tom is one of the founding members of Abana and has some really beautiful things to show us. So you make these on a form here?
Right. Make a form for each different size shape that we need.
We're here at American Art Forge with Tom Sheets, blacksmith. Tom's working on a handrail here today. It's got very classic elements to it. Tom, do you usually use a paper pattern like this? Or
Generally speaking, we make a paper pattern that's full-size drawing so the customer can visualize the gate as it's going to be, and then we transfer it over here and make the parts, and then when we assemble it, we generally assemble it on top of the pattern.
Well, I know you do a lot of architectural details and all sorts of things, but your primary focus is furniture, isn't it?
That's right.
Well, you have any things we could look at over
Sure
here?
do. Have some tables over here.
Great. Let's check them out. Well, here's some of the tables we were talking about, Tom. What you got going on here?
Well, this is a dining room table base, and it has a sport fishing motif. See, it's got a sailfish in the middle and has these little bait fish that'll be in the band all around the edges.
How do these go on?
Well, they go on the edge right here like this.
Oh, I
in
see.
the band.
They're swimming around,
Right,
in it,
right.
basically. I noticed that you've worked with a paper pattern once again, just like you did on the handrail. Do you? How did you cut this out here?
Well, that's cut out with a plasma torch.
That's fairly high-tech piece of equipment. What would be another option as far as cutting
Well, you
this
could cut it out with an oxyacetylene torch.
or a jigsaw or something, or bandsaw, I guess.
Possibly, yeah.
You couldn't do this in here with that, but still. Are there any common problems you have building tables, I mean, that you encounter over and over again?
Well, the hardest part is to make sure that they come out all square and all four legs are sitting in the same place. And, generally, what that takes is a good layout table that's really flat to build it up on, and then you have to, as you're building it, you just have to keep checking and making sure it's all square.
Right. So really, it's one thing that I like to emphasize when I'm telling people about how I do what I do is that a table is a tool, just like a hammer is a tool. I mean, it's got to be kept in good condition and uniform and everything else. Here we have another table that's already finished, and it's got a pretty interesting finish on it. Do you work with all sorts of finishes?
Well, I have 3 or 4 different types of standard finishes that we've developed over the last 5 or 6 years that are different colors: verdigris green and antique black and antique copper. This is an antique copper color here. And the snails that are in here are finished in a verdigris green.
So you've done a little R&D trying to develop different.
Well, that's right.
finishes.
That's right.
I know they're real popular right now. Here's yet another table with yet another finish. This is one of your verdigris?
This is the verdigris right here. And each one of these, they don't all come out exactly the same. Each one, they're all hand done, so they turn out a little differently.
Right. Is this a coffee table?
That's a coffee table.
Yeah.
That's a coffee table.
Yeah, that's
there.
a nice design, sort of classical. And then you have all these other elements. You've got so many different pieces. How do you wind up with so many extra?
Well, these are all extras made from different jobs. When we make parts, we run extra parts, and this way we leave some in inventory, and then we have samples of the actual parts. You can explain to people what the parts can look like, but it's really better if they can see a sample and see exactly what it's going to be.
Right, right. And still more fish. I take it you like fish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big fisherman. This one was cut out with a plasma cut also?
Right, right.
And I've noticed that you've given it relief by just using a thin piece, and then you just hollow this out by using some sort of bolster block? Or?
Right, this is sunk into a different shaped blocks of metal.
Well, that's a really beautiful piece. All of these things are really, really fine, and we really appreciate you showing them to us.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Now this piece right here, I noticed the way you added that little detail. Our project for today is a table. And this table reflects a motif and a design that I've used several times. It's really pretty simple, and you'll find it easy to make. And you can repeat it in a variety of ways. The table design can have all sorts of tops, from ceramic to wood to metal, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try to make a dogwood pedal out of 3/8 inch, half-inch, or 3/8 inch round stock. It'll have a ring in the center, right here, and then there's going to be 8 J-hooks that surround it. So the first thing I've done is just to sketch it in 3D the way I want to see it. And the next thing I want to do is to lay out a box. I've decided to make it 18 by 18, and I want to lay out an 18 by 18 box on my table here. So the first thing I need to do is to make some marks. Mark at 18 inches and at 9 inches so you can find a center mark. Need to find a center mark for this design. It'll make it a lot easier to draw if we put a few reference points in. So using our frame square, can see my table's not good and flat. But the more you heat them, the more they distort, even half-inch thick ones, and this one is nowhere near that. When you build your table, get the thickest metal you possibly can. But even then, it'll warp if you heat very much on it. Okay, get your center marks here. These will just be reference points for drawing this particular design. I found it to be a lot easier if you have a design like this, to have a few. You also want to put in reference points on the diagonal. Here, here, here. Let it run right through the center. Here and here. Okay. Now, what we want to do is to draw this center ring. Like that. Okay. Now, our J-hooks, the base of them is going to join halfway through this arc in each quarter part of this ring. So that's why this mark is so important, the diagonal mark. Make it much easier to end up in the right place if we start in the right place. Also, a halfway mark on either side will help you draw, because your scrolls are going to meet right here. So, bring them down like that, and they meet that point, and draw your scroll in like that. They won't all come out perfect, and they won't all look good all the time. But out of the 8 that you draw, one of them will. And you'll use it for your reference. Okay. Now, once you've drawn all of them in full scale, decide which one you want to use for your reference point. I think we'll try this one. Looks pretty close. And measure it off, so you can determine how much steel you need to make this thing. Run it around the outer perimeter, and you'll always have a little bit extra. This usually means you'll have to cut off some on the end, but that's okay. I usually add a little bit for a handle anyway. It makes it a lot easier to deal with than using tongs. You may have to use tongs once you get curled to a certain point at any rate. But this is a general measurement, not necessarily an exact one. Okay. So it looks like about 20 inches will do it. Now we can begin to work our elements. We forged all of these pieces into J scrolls. That's what's going to make up the design, the dogwood design. And we've got our measurements from having measured our prototype and made our cuts. So you're going to have 8 pieces at the same length, and then you're going to have one piece that we're going to weld into a ring in the center. So let's get started drawing points. First you want to draw out the points on your elements and then make your J hooks. These J scrolls are very common. Now you can tell with this 3/8 inch rod, it works much more quickly than the 1/2 inch rod that we have worked in the past. Thus, one heat, you can really draw a point quite easily. And we're using a sort of a stubby little point on this one because we don't really want a whole lot of worked metal in our J scroll. So now we need to heat this up from the tip back as far as we can so that we can begin to make our scroll. It's real important that in the early stages you don't get too far off your pattern, or you'll amplify your mistake as you continue. Now, to finish out your scroll, you can just put it in your scroll bender and bend it on around. Make frequent reference to your pattern so that you don't mess up too much here. To make the ring in the center of the dogwood petal, what we're going to do is to make a circle and then weld it. Now to start a weld like that, you want to have to scarf the ends that are going to come together to be welded. And that just means putting an angle on the end that matches. It'll make a better weld that way. So just bring your piece up to the anvil. You'll drop it every once in a while until you get used to your tongs. And then put a little angle on it. Just like that. Then you heat the other end and do the same thing on that end. So there you have a forge welded ring. Clean it off and make it look a little better. As you can see, I've left a little bit of a seam. A really good forge weld, there won't be any seam at all. It's something you really have to practice a lot at to get a nice clean one. Now that we've made all of our various elements in the forge, we can assemble them here. Put your ring in the center. They probably won't exactly match your drawing. They may not even come all that close, but as long as they fill the area and they look good, that's all that matters. If you're reproducing things and they have to be reproduced exactly, that's really a different business from what we're doing here. This is just fun. It is serious business, though, reproductions of all sorts of things. Armor and weaponry. Takes very refined craftsmanship. People like Chris Poor that reproduce beautiful swords from the past. They do a great service for historians by giving them an idea of what it really looked like. It also fires people's imaginations, and that's only to the good as far as history goes. Okay, once you got it laid out, what you want to do is to clamp it in place and weld it up. Okay. Now that we've got the cross braces welded in there, all we really need to do is to go in and clean up our welds and add a few more welds. I like to circle all the way around something. Come in here and here, here and here, do my downs down the corner, and then grind all this together so I have a uniform unit. Once we've welded and ground and scraped and cleaned up and sanded and wire brushed this thing into oblivion, we can then come in and paint it. You can prime it first, or you can use a paint that already has a primer in it. I suggest that just to save coats. I like to use a spray can instead of a spray gun because I don't generate as much toxic waste really cleaning my gun as I do by just having these cans, and I can take them to a recycling center that accepts them. So just give it several coats of this and stand back and fix little things. Don't be afraid to go in there and grind a little more and weld a little more and sand a little more until you get it just the way you want it. Put a piece of glass on here, a piece of 24-inch round or 20-inch round would look great on here. And get 3/4-inch thick glass or even thinner would do just fine. Use it for a plant stand or a coffee table. Put plenty of coats of paint on it and you'll be able to use it inside and out for a couple hundred years. The Biltmore house is filled with beautiful ironwork, and it's quite a job to maintain. The firm that maintains the ironwork here is Asheville Ironworks, and that firm is run by Barry Bate. Barry began her career as an opera singer and eventually went into metalworking, and that became her profession. We find this with a lot of the metalworkers that we visit. They begin with something else and go into metalwork gradually, a little at a time, until it takes over their lives and they begin to do it as a business. Let's head on over to her shop and see what she's doing. We're here at Asheville Ironworks, where they make beautiful pieces of architectural ironwork as well as furniture and display items for the retail industry. This is Barry Bate. Hi, Barry.
Hi there, Alan.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming today.
Well, we're glad to be here. How long have you been blacksmithing?
Been blacksmithing for about 18 years.
18 years. Well, how'd you get started in it?
Well, I got started, it's funny because I have a Bachelor of Music degree in opera, and I needed a break from practicing. So I started wandering over to the art department at night and learning about how to weld and the beautiful features of iron. And I just fell in love with it. So I continued and worked under different men that had an awful lot of experience, and they taught me everything they knew. And so I just started adding all these techniques until I started Asheville Ironworks.
Well, how long have you been in Asheville working?
About 14 years.
14 years. Well, you don't just do work here, you work in several different cities, don't you?
Yes, we do work all over the country. And we just finished a gate that went to Utah with all different animals that were reposéd. When you open the gate, the squirrels would leap over the rocks and the porcupines would appear, and it was just total fantasy.
A lot of fun to build. I mean, a lot of headaches, I imagine, but still fun to see it after
Yes, I love
it's
to
built.
add personality to things.
Right. Well, one of your accounts here is the Biltmore House, isn't it?
Yes, we do all their new work and restore their old, and we're very honored to work for them.
Well, aside from architectural details, you also make furniture, really beautiful furniture. And
Thank you.
I'd like to talk about this piece right here. What is
Okay.
this?
Well, this is a frame for a foyer table.
Uh-huh.
And as you can see, every single inch of it has all these hammer impressions on them. And I feel it's very important to put so much effort into every inch to make this high-end furniture and to make it a piece that'll last forever and be carried on through families.
Well, this is heirloom quality. I mean, this could have been here 100 years ago or 200 years ago. It's a really beautiful piece.
Thank you.
What else are you doing right now?
Oh, well, we're doing a lot in the shop. Would you like to come see?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Great. Just follow me.
Okay. Well, this is a beautiful railing here. Where's this going?
This is going to an architect's home. This is some work that'll be at a private home, and a river will be right behind this.
Oh, really?
And my crew that's very gifted worked very hard on this to make it just as artistic as it can be.
They did a beautiful job. These grapes are marvelous. Do you use a lot of grapes in wine
Yes,
motifs?
we use grapes in a lot of things. One that we're really known for is we do a lot of chandeliers for Billy Graham.
Oh, really?
And we did with all types of grapes in the chandeliers.
So you do private work, but you also do work for public spaces, isn't that right?
Yes, we love doing benches and trash receptacles and sculpture and all types of things to be put in public places that will have some meaning.
We saw some of your receptacles at the Biltmore House. But
Yes.
didn't you say you'd sent some benches somewhere recently?
We just delivered benches and trash receptacles to Brook Green Gardens.
Oh, that's so beautiful down there.
It
the
is.
sculpture and
It's
everything.
wonderful to add to it.
Really. And these are some other things that you do. What are these pieces
These
here?
are display items. This was for Neiman Marcus store. And again, here are impressions. A box, but it's been made very interesting with hammering and bluing technique. And a costumer that would hold one dress, but again, very hammered, so that it becomes special.
Very, very beautiful. Well, I understand you have some pictures you want to show me in the...
Yes, would you like to come to the showroom?
Yes, let's go look. So y'all did this job here, huh, on top of Chimney Rock?
Yes, that was one of our first jobs when I came to Asheville. And I had 2 ropes on me covered with garden hose and hung off that mountain there and put up those sections of fence.
Really unbelievable. Well, thank you for having us here today.
Thank you for coming.
This must have presented a lot of real serious logistical problems.
It did. There's 18 angles in this fence.
18.
And it had to go around all those rocks.
Oh, man.
So it was very custom made.
Problem-solving time.
That's right.
Really. It's beautiful.
To obtain your personal copy of Alan Rogers' Forge and Anvil companion book, including project details and expanded videotapes of Forge and Anvil projects, send $15 for the book, $35 for tapes, or $39.95 for both. Call 1-800-359-4040 for credit card orders. Make checks payable to the University of Georgia and send them to Forge and Anvil, University of Georgia, Georgia Center, Athens, Georgia, 30602, 3603.
We see some pretty incredible gates on Forge and Anvil, and this one at Schloss Furnace is really remarkable. That's about it for today. Join us next time on Forge and Anvil.